Do you think this old man is just an ordinary pensioner? No, he has obtained a superpower capable of destroying the entire world. How did this happen? You'll find out in our recap of the movie Inuyashiki. This man has a wife, a daughter, and a son, but his family doesn't like him because he is old and poor. He is constantly scolded, both at home and at work. One day, while on his way home, he spots robbers attacking a passerby but cowardly walks away. His daughter Mari notices this and calls him a wimp. In the evening, a red-haired dog comes to Inuyashiki's house, and the man decides to keep it. Feeling unwell, he goes to the doctor. Inuyashiki learns that he has stage 4 cancer and only has several months to live. He tries to call his family, but none of his relatives answer the phone. Inuyashiki goes for a walk with his dog and begins to cry bitterly. A sad guy sits on a bench beside him. Suddenly, a bright light appears in the sky, followed by a huge explosion. Silhouettes can be seen, and a strange sound is heard.
Can I get a oh yeah?
Apparently, aliens have come to Earth. Inuyashiki regains consciousness and realizes that he can see well even without glasses, which surprises him greatly. During breakfast, he realizes that he can't taste the food and greedily drinks tap water. When he enters his room, he realizes that his body has become incredibly strong. A strange mechanical device emerges from his head, and the soup he had just eaten ends up on the curtains. Looking in the mirror, he sees that the inside of his head is filled with electronic mechanisms, and his hands can transform into real weapons. Only then does Inuyashiki realize that he is not human but a robot. Meanwhile, a student named Hiroshigami notices that his friend Naoyuki Ando, also known as Choco, hasn't been to school and decides to visit him. Shishigami shows Choco his new abilities, pointing his fingers like a pistol and aiming at a flying bird. With a bang, all that's left is feathers. We realize that Shishigami is the guy who was sitting on the bench during the explosion in the park, so he is also a robot. Choco is impressed. In the parking lot, Shishigami moves cars with his hands, causing them to crash. He shows his friend his cyborg body and claims that he is no longer human but a superhero. At the same time, Inuyashiki is at risk of being fired from his job. He kneels, begging his boss not to do it. On his way home, he finds a wounded pigeon, picks it up, and suddenly activates a program that heals the bird. The pigeon flies into the sky, and Inuyashiki smiles happily. He hears a voice in his head asking for help and follows it, arriving at the hospital where he sees a sick boy. Inuyashiki tries to cure him, just like he did with the pigeon, and succeeds. The boy opens his eyes, stands up, and takes off his oxygen mask. It's a true miracle. Inuyashiki smiles and walks away, finally feeling useful, important, and needed. However, some very bad events occur at the same time. Shishigami and Choco go to school, where Mari, Inuyashiki's daughter, also studies. Choco is surrounded by a crowd of bullies who threaten him. Shishigami violently grabs one of them, bites his arm, and almost breaks his bones. The offender falls to his knees, begging for forgiveness. Shishigami points his hand at the bully, making the same gun gesture with his fingers. Just in time, Choco stops his friend. During the break, a classmate named Shion runs up to Shishigami and confesses her love for him. He smiles indulgently and walks away. Shishigami goes to see his father, who has a new family but loves the boy very much. In the midst of the fun, Shishigami makes his dangerous gesture again but refrains from using it when he sees his half-sister's frightened eyes. Walking down the street, Shishigami bursts into someone's house and uses his finger gun to take the life of an unknown man and his wife. At the same time, Inuyashiki is using his superpower to heal people at the hospital. Suddenly, he hears a cry for help and rushes to the house where Shishigami committed the crime, but he arrives too late. A young girl with no signs of life is lying on the floor in the corridor. Inuyashiki tries to heal her, but it is beyond his powers. He enters the room and finds 2 more bodies, as well as Shishigami himself. Shishigami uses his gun gesture, causing Inuyashiki to hit the wall. However, being a robot, Inuyashiki quickly regains his senses. He rushes outside and sees Shishigami flying away using a jet engine. Inuyashiki realizes that Shishigami is the same kind of robot as him but doesn't know why he commits such crimes. The next day, Choco asks Shishigami why he took the life of a young family. Shishigami replies that he has become a god and will use his powers in any way he wants. Yuki is horrified and asks Shishigami to never meet him again. Shishigami returns home, and his mother reveals that she has terminal cancer and will soon pass away. Meanwhile, Inuyashiki returns home and witnesses another family quarrel. His son steals money from his mother, and his daughter doesn't want to study but dreams of becoming a writer. He only hears reproaches and insults directed at him. At night, Inuyashiki cries bitterly in his room. Suddenly, he remembers Shishigami and decides to stop the villain. He takes his beloved dog and activates his jet engine, flying through the city at breakneck speed and landing near a bench where a crying Choco is sitting. Inuyashiki tells the boy what happened to him and Shishigami. The boy assures him that his friend is actually a good guy, but life has made him cruel. Together, they try to find a way to stop the villain. But first, Inuyashiki must learn how to control his superpowers. He tries to use the finger gun gesture to smash a tin can, but it doesn't work. A few seconds later, during a doctor's appointment, Shishigami's mother is informed that she is perfectly healthy. It seems that even the villain can heal people. Shishigami and his mother laugh happily, but then the police surround them. The boy is suspected of serious crimes, and he tries to escape. A fight breaks out between him and the cops, but he easily defeats them. Starting the jet engine, the guy flies away. News reports about him appear all over the media. Shishigami is found by Shion, the girl who confessed love to him. She invites the boy to her house and offers him to stay with her. At this time, Inuyashiki finally manages to control his power, though he gets tired quickly and drinks a lot of water because of it. Suddenly, the water literally pours out of him, just like the salty soup he had some time ago. But what causes such a reaction? Choco realizes that it's water for athletes, which contains salt. Perhaps the robots can't tolerate it. In the evening, Mari returns home and sees her father accompanied by her classmate Choco, which surprises her greatly. The girl stops the boy on his way home and demands an explanation, but he runs away. The night falls. Shishigami watches the news and learns that his mother couldn't stand the accusations against her beloved son and took her own life. The boy weeps bitterly. He reads the comments of the people who curse him. Shishigami finds one of the most vile comments and connects to his computer. Seeing Shishigami on the screen, the man laughs eagerly until the guy points his finger gun at him. Bang! And red spots appear on the man's sweater. We realize that Shishigami can use his powers even through the computer screen. Shishigami connects to the other commenters' computers and does the same thing. Then again and again and again. The number of his victims is estimated to be in dozens. Exhausted, Shishigami greedily drinks tap water, after which he confesses to Zeon that he is a wanted criminal. The guy demonstrates his cyborg body, grabs the girl, and starts his jet engine. He flies through the city with the screaming girl in his arms and declares that from now on, the whole world is his enemy. Despite this, Shion begs the guy not to leave her. Shishigami hugs the girl and promises to be there for her. At night, Shion gets up to drink some water. At that moment, the police break into her house and open fire. Shishigami tries to cover the girl with his body, after which he repeatedly uses the same finger gesture, and the policemen fall down with no signs of life. However, Shishigami fails to save Shion. The girl is also lying on the floor and not breathing. The guy is desperate. He flies away. Inuyashiki watches another news report on Shishigami's crimes. He asks his family to stay home and turn off their phones, but they only look at him with contempt, as always. Inuyashiki's daughter Mari goes on a field trip with her friends to one of the huge skyscrapers. News about Shishigami is broadcast all over the city. Suddenly, the guy himself hacks into the city's computers, and everyone sees his face. He addresses the people and declares that he's going to take the lives of 120 million people. The guy points his finger gun at the people of the city, but people only laugh and don't take these threats seriously until the first passerby falls onto the ground. Then the second, the third, and panic ensues in the city. Everyone tries to get away from the screens, but they are everywhere. What's more, Shishigami has hacked into all the cell phones in the city, and everyone with a phone can instantly become his next victim. Inuyashiki hears millions of voices asking for help. He also hacks the city's electronic system and broadcasts a video message from Choco, who asks everyone to get away from the screens and turn off their phones. Many people heed his advice. Shishigami is furious. He activates his jet engine and shoots a white beam all over the city, destroying buildings. From a skyscraper window, Mari sees the city engulfed in flames. However, this helps Inuyashiki realize where the villain is hiding, so the hero rushes to stop him. The man uses a gun gesture, but it's actually nothing for him. He starts his plasma engines, and an aerial battle ensues between the robots. Inuyashiki nearly crashes into buildings, and then Shishigami launches the explosive beams at him. All of a sudden, Inuyashiki hears a voice calling for help. It's his daughter, Mari. A beam hit the skyscraper she was in, and now it's completely ruined. Inuyashiki rushes to save Mari, flying through houses and even subway trains, and ends up in a skyscraper. But there's Shishigami already standing on top. The battle continues. Shishigami shoots down a helicopter. Inuyashiki manages to save one pilot, but the main villain shows up again. He has used up a lot of power and wants some water. But Inuyashiki knocks the bottle out of his hand and throws him a different bottle. It contains salty water. Shishigami grabs it and greedily drinks the water, then attacks Inuyashiki again. The man even has to fly off the planet to avoid a collision with the blast beam. Now they are fighting in outer space. Suddenly, Shishigami gets sick because of the salt. Inuyashiki takes this chance and shoots a fire ray at the villain. An explosion occurs. Inuyashiki returns to Earth in an attempt to rescue his daughter. He finds her under the rubble, but the girl shows no signs of life. Despite this, he tries to rescue her and perform artificial respiration on Mari. Suddenly, the girl opens her eyes and starts coughing. She hugs her father and cries. And then Inuyashiki flies away because of a massive blow. It's Shishigami, and he's still alive. The guy points his finger gun at the girl. Inuyashiki attacks the villain but doesn't make it in time. Mari is badly wounded. A hand-to-hand fight ensues between the robots, but Shishigami is much stronger and literally flattens his opponent against the wall. Mari realizes that her father is a robot. Shishigami tries to finish Inuyashiki off. The daughter reaches for her father's hand, but the villain grabs Mari and throws her off the skyscraper. Inuyashiki uses the last of his strength to activate the jet engine and smashes Shishigami's metal body in flight, then catches his daughter literally above the ground and heals her with his powers. Inuyashiki flies back to the skyscraper to save the survivors. A week has passed. We learn from the news that Shishigami is gone, and fragments of his metal body have been scattered all over the city. Inuyashiki has breakfast with his family. His daughter has kept the secret. He is about to take a sip of the salty soup, but he remembers how it might end up and puts the plate down. Did you like the recap? Then give us a like and subscribe to the channel. It's free. You've been watching the Drumroll Recaps channel, and we wish you to stay on the side of good. I'll see you later.